Hello, friends, and welcome back to Stories About Entitled People. If you love hearing about entitled people getting their comeuppance, you're in for a treat. Let's dive into today's story. How my classmate from college demanded my job. I work as a teacher and have been doing that since 2008-2009. In May 2008, I'd finished all subjects except for my thesis. Since I wouldn't have classes after the summer holiday, I ventured into the world of job interviews to secure a job and get some real experience. I landed a job for 18 lessons a week for a short duration as it was for sick leave. I knew I'd have to start looking for a job again during the school year. Luck would have it that when they told me that my contract would end on the 31st of October, a job opening at my now previous job went up, so I wrote a resume and application letter. Was invited for an interview, and within 2 days, I got a call letting me know that I got the job. I was ecstatic. This job started with a temporary contract that could turn into a fixed-term contract. Then, the week after I got hired, I got a call from a classmate from college. He asked me a bunch of questions, and the conversation went something like this. Classmate, did you just get a new job? Me, yes, that's right. Classmate, is it at name school? Me, yes. Classmate, in such and such place? Me, yes. Why do you want to know? He then proceeds to tell me that this school was where he has done his internship for the past 2 years and that he really wanted to work at this school. I asked him if he had sent a job application and such. He did. Ah, okay. At this point, I was feeling a bit sorry for him. I had heard his enthusiasm in the last couple of years, but never really remembered the name of his school. Then he dropped a bomb. He told me almost verbatim that you should not accept the job and let me have it. I've worked there as an intern for 2 years, so I have more right to it. He continues his rant that he has more experience with this school and the way they work. True, they work somewhat differently than other, more traditional schools, and that I should call the school back and rescind everything. At this point, my voice had left me. I didn't know what to say. He kept on ranting and ranting that I had no right and should have asked him first. This was getting out of hand. I told him I had to go and then just hung up the phone. The next couple of weeks, I got a slew of messages and emails from him basically telling me not to take the job. I blocked him and started the job. At the end of the school year, I got a fixed-term contract and asked my colleagues and team lead about this classmate. My colleagues were quite blunt that they didn't like him. My team lead told me that my classmate was very enthusiastic but very pushy. He wanted things done his way and did some other things that weren't mentioned that created bad blood between my classmate and the rest of the teachers. He also told me that my classmate had continued to call him asking/demanding for a job. As one of my dearest colleagues said, he was a pushy piece of crap. You're a very good upgrade. I've never heard of my classmate again. He tried to slander me to other classmates, but they didn't believe him. At reunions, he evaded me like the plague. He eventually found another job, and from what I've gathered, he still works there. Aside from how outrageous to think you should walk away from a job you needed, wanted, and valued in favor of him, did he ever consider that if you had walked away, they might have hired someone else rather than him? It never occurred that there were more than 2 possibilities, or that they might not hire at all? Sounds like he isn't entitled, but insane. And our second story. Karen calls me stupid for her bill not being paid. I work as a manager for a major cell phone carrier. The amount of times we see customers who don't pay their bill and get mad that their service is shut off is crazy. Like, yeah, we aren't going to continue to provide you service if you don't pay what you owe. But I also do understand that people run into financial issues, and I will do what I can to help them out. Just don't be an a-hole, and we'll see what can be done. So recently, I had a Karen show up to my store in a huff. When I see customers looking angry or annoyed come in, I take them instead of giving them to one of my reps because I feel like ultimately I'll get asked to help anyways. So I see her walk in with her kid, and I look towards her and smile. Me, hello, how are you guys doing today? Karen, not so good. Me, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. What seems to be wrong? Karen, well, you guys cut off my service, and I'm mad because I talked to your customer service yesterday, and they said that I should be fine with service until I can make my payment next week. Now, when it comes to situations like this, all I can do at the store is have her pay her bill to restart her service. When customer service, CS, makes promises like this, which happens a lot, and customers can have the extension due to a promise to pay service, We can try to contact CS and have them turn their phones back on. Now, the issue with contacting CS for a customer who has a past due bill is that the call will just go straight to billing to make them pay. If we enter another customer's number, CS will just hang up and report the store. So knowing this, I tell the customer exactly this to give her the right expectation, but I assure her that I'll do what I can to get in touch with CS. She didn't like that. Karen, what do you mean you can't restart my service or contact CS? It's your guy's fault that my service is shut off. Me. It's not that I can't, it's that it'll be difficult to get someone on the line due to your account status. I'm just setting the right expectations. Karen rolls her eyes. Just get my service running again. So I guide her to my store's phone and call the number we have to call CS. On the phone, I choose the options to speak with a CS rep, and the automated machine asks for the number I'm working with. I dial her number, and we get sent to billing. We then hear, "You have reached the billing department to make a..." Then Karen interrupts. Karen, that's the message I get when I call them. Me. Yes, like I said before, this will be the only department you'll be able to contact due to your account status. Karen, well, use your direct CS number. Me. This is that number. If you want, we can call back and try another option, but I think it'll lead us back here. Karen agrees, so I hang up and call again. I try this time to reach a different CS department besides the general department that we call, but again, as soon as the system recognized her number, we hear the billing message again. Karen, this is bullcrap. Me. Ma'am, please, no swearing in the store. Karen, I'll say what I want. You can't tell me what to do. Me. You're absolutely right, but I can't have you leave with no resolution to your problem. Karen. Well, then use someone else's number to get someone to answer. Me. Like I mentioned before, I won't be doing that. I won't get my store in trouble for doing that. Karen, you have to listen to me. Now use your own number to get someone. Me. I'm not using my number. I've done all that I can do for you. If you want to use someone else's number, then you can call CS from a different phone. Karen. Then give me their number. Me. Gladly. I start walking to the back to write down the number for her. As soon as I open the door to the back room, I hear her say, "That guy's an idiot." I stop in my tracks and walk right back to her. Me. You can leave now. I understand you're mad about your service being shut off, but that doesn't give you the right to insult me or my team. So leave. Karen. Well, I'm sorry, she said condescendingly. Please get me CS's number and I will. Me. No, you can Google it. Karen. How am I supposed to do that? My service is shut off. Me. Not my problem. Now leave. Karen, after she notices that I'm not going to budge for her, picks up her stuff, grabs her kid, and marches towards the exit. She says as she's almost to the door, "You're an a-hole," which one of my reps reply, "Well, at least he pays his bill." Probably not the major meltdown most people expect from retail stories, but I felt it was good to share. She's definitely out of order, but I must say the CS setup of your company must cause you headaches. The lack of ability for even staff to speak directly with an agent is not helpful. And our last story. I work in the solar industry, mainly residential, as a service technician. Whenever something goes wrong with a solar PV system, I'm the guy they send out to fix it. I've been doing this long enough to have the knowledge and skill to complete an entire installation by myself, with roof pitch and module count within reason, that is. Anyways, I went out with one of the crews for an installation as they were short a few guys, so myself and two of the other technicians I work with volunteered to help them out. Seemed like a pretty standard job, 40-plus panels, not a steep roof. Okay, we should be in and out, time permitting, we're finished and back at the shop by 4 to 5 p.m. So we arrive at the house. It's what looked to be a pretty rich neighborhood. Homeowner greeted us and even offered to grab us all breakfast. It was a good day so far. So we set up an exclusion zone to prevent anyone from coming too close to the house as equipment, tools, etc. will fall off the roof. I'm on the ground working on building the electrical portion of the system. I've got my music playing, all's good. I've got myself in a good rhythm. I then noticed a child, could have been no older than 7, dart past the red tape we'd put up and head toward a ladder to the roof to try to start playing on it. Like a human being with common sense, I ran over and told the kid he couldn't play on this and that the red tape was up so he couldn't get hurt. And the moment you've all been waiting for, Karen appears. Man, she had it all. The haircut, the sunglasses, and she had the worst spray tan I've personally seen. It's summer, people. Just go get some sun. Damn. Karen. Don't talk to my son like that. He just wants to play with your tools. Ma'am, I can't allow him to play with our tools. I can't have him or yourself pass that red tape. We put it up for your safety. Oh, he'll be fine. Just tell your workers not to drop anything. I lost a couple of brain cells from that response. I can tell them not to drop anything all day, but that doesn't exclude the fact accidents happen and we can't risk anyone who's a non-worker to be hurt. Now, please leave. This is an active work site. I can do as I please, and so can my son. We're friends with these people, and they let my son play in their yard. You should take a better direction at talking to potential customers, you know. Ma'am, until I have site plans for an installation on your house, how I speak to you is not a concern I have. If I sound cross, I apologize. But I've now told you twice that I cannot have you pass that red tape, so I'm asking once again, please take your son and leave before either of you get hurt. This is an active work site. She grabbed her child's arms and stormed off, while also tearing off a section of the exclusion zone tape and storming over to her house 2 doors down. I stood by our trailer to take a breather and began chain smoking. I try not to get stressed out so much, being my job is already stressful as it is, but I have zero patience for people with no common sense, especially if they're a parent. A little while later, panels are prepped, roof is based out. For anyone who knows about solar installations, we use a rackless system instead of actual rails. We're now just finishing up the electrical before placing the panels into position. I'm running up between the basement and the outside area. I get back to the outside, punching in some wires, when I hear one of my guys yelling from the roof. "Hey kid, what are you doing?" That immediately caught my attention, as I thought the little kid had run past the exclusion zone tape once again, but my eyes caught a guy running down the road with a solar panel in tow. He thankfully wasn't very fast, he was holding the panel. I darted over to this kid with one of our solar panels and attempted to rip it from his hands, while simultaneously trying not to let it hit the ground. I was able to get my hands on it, but this kid actually put up a fight and tossed the solar panel. That put me in an awkward position, and he landed a full-on punch to my chest. Not gonna lie, it did knock the wind out of me a little, but I went into full self-defense mode. The kids wanted to take another shot at me since I didn't completely go down. I immediately put him on the ground without throwing any punches. I didn't know how old this kid was, and I didn't want to get in trouble for hitting a minor, but I wasn't about to let this kid continue to hit me. I'm thankful I have a little background in amateur MMA and a police officer dad and older brother who taught me stuff over the years. So I had the kid down on the ground, pinned, and out comes Karen, running, screaming like a banshee, the typical, "I'm calling the cops, and you just assaulted my son." I really asked myself if this was happening. Your son was stealing a solar panel and punched me in the chest. I had to defend myself. I told him to grab the solar panel. My neighbor said I could take one and try it out and see how I like it. At this point, my guys are at my aid, and I tell them to call the cops and keep Karen away from me. As we wait for the cops to show up, this orange-skinned lunatic is ranting how she's gonna sue all of us and blah blah blah. Cops arrive about 10 minutes later. I remove myself from the kid, and the cops split us all up to take our statements and such. Karen went with her story about how her neighbor said she could borrow a solar panel and try it out. Now, even if he did say that, which he didn't, you can't just let someone take a solar panel because they still belong to the company. Most people who buy solar finance the panels and pay them off over the course of the next couple of years. Works a lot like financing a car. I get to the point where the cops ask if I want to press charges for the assault. The guy whose house we were installing had a security camera system and caught the incident all on tape, so I gladly say yes. No idea when the court proceedings are going to be taking place. I honestly just want this over and done with. Edit. Just to clear up some questions in the comments, found out the kid who attacked me was 18, legally an adult, so charges are being filed against him. The homeowner was present during most of the ordeal and told us he's never talked to that woman in his life, and I have no idea what Karen's intentions were with the solar panel. If she planned to just slap it on her house, she's as stupid as she is entitled. Thank you for being some of these sensible few that press charges. Too many let these people get away with their actions, which just goes in turn to feed their delusional belief they're untouchable. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.